And we are live. I was planning on starting a little bit earlier, and I've just sort of been idly playing a bit, so I'm 2 years and a couple of months into the game. I hope that will
Howdy,
not
folks.
be some terrible loss to the viewing content, but so we've still got barely any locomotives available, but all should be well. I'm doing basically a timber only run, because I'm a mad lad like that. Now I'm also trying to pick the a bit more specifically with things to start with. Well, at the moment I have one type of locomotive that's relevant. So this, I guess, is my main station. I'm gonna put in a better junction soon. But I may have to put in an extra tunnel as well, as I'm about to increase the traffic through there. I'm joined by Ash and Stein. You may hear them from time to time. But yeah, currently I'm operating out of 4 forests, and I intend to have that go up to 6 very soon. It's on a bigger map than the last time, and I'm specialising rather than trying to do everything at once, because that should be easier. So train 15 is a long trip, which means that later on down the line I'll use different locomotives for, different purposes. Inflation's already hitting me. I'll do it right. So one of the things I do need to do is to find a factory nearby, so I can start exporting lumber as well as goods. Also I do want to try and connect my 2 networks together at some point, but for now that's not too relevant. Is that 2 sawmills? It is, okay. So I've got these 2 forests going to here. I might start carrying iron and coal to this steelworks. I'm tempted to do that by the ratio train, where the train carries 2 iron for every 1 coal. It's a bit more awkward to set up, but it does mean you always get a reliable supply. Of steel at least, but I'm probably not going to bother with that right yet, as I want to try and get all of the lumber on the map under my domain. So this station has a requirement for more trains. So there's a train on its way, but that's now we know that. Now the other thing with this early on, as I say, starting in 1850, is everything's really slow. Oh good, that's going to be driving past for a while. If you think it's bad now, think about it when it's 4 AM and they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Immersion.
Could you go, surely they wouldn't use, the sirens that early in the morning? That's where you're wrong, kiddo. So I need to go around this farm. Now I could stay on the high ground, or I can drop down to the lowlands and go around the outside. I think I will drop down and go around. Yeah, technically, I could have smoothed this out and gone that way, but I didn't think about that. I honestly thought this forest was a bit nearer to the other side, but it's not. I'm running the latest version of the game. I don't really know what changes there have been. I think I last updated this in like 2017, so it's had 2 years worth of updates. I look forward to seeing what they were. Some of them won't be active because I'm not actually playing the core game specifically. I'm playing the mods, specifically Let me get the list. UK renewal set, heavy equipment set, UKRS Industries, skin packs for stations, the aircraft set, the general road vehicle set, nicer track, the ships one. I believe it's Fish's ships. I'm not too sure. I think Fish might be the designer. I don't know. It's mostly just skin packs, and I've got nice crossings. Nothing really exciting. Just I don't know, makes the game a bit more fun than the base game. Although I do want to do a base game playthrough at some point, and I will have a go at the Toyland variant, because even if it is a bit sort of, it's all right. So we got a factory over here. So if I can get to that factory, I can start exporting the lumber. But first, I want to get this this forest connected up. Now this junction is going to be a nightmare later on, because so many trains are going to want to stop here, and it's just going to bottleneck. But I will burn that bridge when I come to it. I forget where I first heard that as a thing to say, but I like it.
Hi, Crispo. Hi, Socky.
Hello, Crispy. Hello, Crispy.
Hello, hello.
Sorry, I tried to say Socky and Crispo at the same time. That's the story I'm going with anyway. At some point, I might make a less deviated route through here. Just go straight, a couple of tunnels, keep to the high ground, but it works for now. So I need to have a new train for there. And at the moment everything is being very slow. And my OBS is being a nuisance. There we go. That's not the one I meant to pick up. I guess I can fit that in sort of there-ish. It's not so in the way there. Good.
No worries, Crispo.
Yeah, so I wanted to try and stream something, and I currently don't have the creative spark to do anything with Minecraft that wouldn't just be really dull.
He says he's painting 40k units.
Yeah, sounds fun. Not done that in a while. Alright. Start extending these lines.
Oh, who could it be now?
It
looks like a Master Stu.
Hey, Stu.
Yo.
As I'm
You're
sure.
back in the world of Choo Choo.
Yep, I could make that the thumbnail, but I don't want to.
Yep. What?
I think I slept well last night. I've honestly no idea. I just woke up and was like, I need to go to work. Work was going alright until I had to undo a blind to take it down because it was irrelevant, and that fucking hurt.
Oof.
Good times.
Crispo's apparently painting the Death Guard.
Ooh, nice. That's lots of green and brown.
Yep.
And greeny brown bits.
Or you could be painting, I guess, a variant of Death Guard. Because apparently they're a thing now, the Death Guard have their own sub-legions or whatever, so...
I mean, that's just good business, but...
Yeah. At least that's what it said in the book for 8th edition.
I'd like to keep up, but I don't want to.
Yeah, honestly, I only glanced the page out and I was like, oh, different color schemes for Death Guard. Okay.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yep.
Well, I've got the
Like, I think
stations built.
Hmm.
There's so much iron everywhere. I might actually have to start carrying iron just as a supplement.
He said that he's painting the basic Death Guard. I have a starter set and a couple of other units.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's how they get you. I can remember back when I used to deliver newspapers and had unreasonable amounts of like available income. 'Cause it turns out when you basically don't like being at home because it's depressing and lonely, because my sister had gone to university and my parents both worked, that you kind of just find stuff to do, and that was working, and that was a good solution because it meant I had more money to spend on gaming miniatures.
I remember those days.
Yeah, I can remember. I think it was probably 2014, 2015. No, it couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been that late. Must have been like 2011, 2012. Oh, that's been a while. I saved up my wages for a couple of weeks and then finished my not my Legion, my company.
Yep.
I got 2 boxes of Devastators, which was enough to make 4 whole Devastator squads. And then proceeded to, build all of it. They all had squad identifiers on their shoulders. Originally they were just sort of the bootleg ones, and then I realised that I was being dumb and used the correct ones, as there are actually details of all the correct unit markings for 10 companies. For a company in all the 10 squads even.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, when I used to collect, I had a similar thing where I'd get a paper round and get £80 a month, and then just buy on Warhammer with
Yep.
and buy a cookie and a sausage roll lunchtime if it was going to the store.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Now, the advantage of working a lot when you're like a teenager is it gives you a good appreciation for working.
Yep.
And the other advantage, of course, is if you've got expensive hobbies, to get a good solid base when you're a teenager, when you don't have any responsibilities. So that when you're an adult, you don't have to, do quite so much.
Yep.
So, this junction already needs some work.
Dab on all the other kids for having money as well. by having money, sorry.
Yeah, no, I can remember one of my friends was always like, oh, you always seem to have like so much money, like more money than me. And then he kind of went through the numbers, and I quite quickly realised that it wasn't that I had more money than him, it's just I spent a lot less of it than he did. Because he was the type of person who would buy a game on Steam every other week or something. It's just like, see, that's where your money's going. So I'm going to take out... part of me goes, I should probably remove this part of the junction. So the points are still there, so I could put it back, but it's just... Because, I mean, if I get delays on
Gotta
this
go,
side,
folks.
no worries.
See you later.
See you later.
Oh.
Delays on this side is not an issue, but if I get delays leaving, that's more of an issue. So delays entering is fine, delays leaving, not so much. I have a need for trains. Quite a few trains, in fact, and I've got 100 grand to spend on them. Hey. So that is 6 forests now connected in. Are there any more nearby? But yeah, no, it was quite interesting just seeing his sort of argument fall apart when he eventually realised that he in fact was better off and just spent all of his money instead. It's the weird flex.
Oh.
Imagine, working for all of your money. Like some kind of, capitalist.
I'm presuming also Penny was indecisive about making a character.
Yeah, she was, I think,
She
tired.
never came back on.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, she did just come back yesterday. How's that time thing?
I misread that the first time.
Hmm?
The new factory that's been built near Kunpool.
No, Crispa, I'm not at work. I tried to go to work and my boss was like, hey, you still don't look like you feel very good. Just take the day off.
Your ribs aren't right. Then the day off.
I feel fine. I
Doubt.
mean, I'm really hungry, but other than that, I have no complaints.
Yeah. Employers will do that if they know you're not feeling well, or take extra days off so you don't make yourself worse and then have to spend more time off, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I was off yesterday, Crispa, because I made it 15 minutes up the road from my house. I had a sharp pain in my left arm and then started to slowly fall into unconsciousness. So I had to pull over and sleep in a parking lot for a good 20 minutes before I could drive home.
Yes, this is
So neither of you will be driving much in the UK.
No, for me, it just happens every once in a while. It depends if I sleep weird or if I eat something. Like I said, I had steak on Friday, and that was the first time I've had red meat in a really long time, and it made me really sick. So I don't know if the fact that I got really sick and bloated just caused my ribs to just be like,
bye, Felicia.
yeah, or what.
So,
Someone dislikes the stream. That is unfortunate.
well, they are welcome to do so.
Oh, yeah.
If they had told me
I'll
what
just
the
find
problem
it.
was, I'm sure I might have done something about it. But such is life.
It might just be a meme, but,
I mean, Open TTD 1.9.2, the Skog Timber Company, isn't exactly a controversial video.
Not yet. No, I'm joking.
Also, I'd imagine there is not a large proportion of small person audience, considering the
Hey,
game
Babs.
is 15 years old, as I discovered.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, the kids will be
Hey,
like,
Joe.
what's this?
Why is this
What are these
game so awfully graphically tiny? Why is it played by a massive amount of autists?
Well, this is what video used to be back in the day, kiddos.
Yep.
I used to play strategy games with graphics like
that
this.
cause, people to go out on mass shootings. Because, see, it's a video.
Oh, yeah. That is kind of funny because even back in the day they were claiming that, and it's like playing games like this caused mass shootings.
Yeah,
Apparently.
video games are bad, okay.
I don't know. Did you ever play the original Mortal Kombat games back in the day? Those graphics were very bloody.
I mean, did you play Pong back in the day?
That
Those
was a bloody
graphics
game.
were horrific.
Joe says that she hopes everyone is doing well.
I mean,
So?
about as much as usual.
I did well at work apparently because my colleague messaged me because I was looking after it mostly on my own over the weekend and she asked me how I did and said, I think I did all right. Hope everything's fine. And then she messaged me at lunch like, "Yep, can't criticize you. You did everything very well." It's just like, yay.
Pac-Man teaches drugs are bad. Okay.
Isn't
Yes.
Pac-Man just a game about vor?
Unreal Tournament was the best, says Crispa. And then Dubs asked, "How are you doing?"
I mean,
How is anyone doing? Oof.
I might have to readjust this station.
I take I didn't miss any epic video games yesterday when I went out. So.
Not that I know of. I kept going, I should do stuff, and then as soon as I was done working, I just basically just stopped.
Saki, don't you hate on Space Invaders? That is a great game. I love Space Invaders. Space Invaders and Dig Dug. My two favorite, like, classic, I guess, as the kids would call them, video games.
Mm-hmm.
Dig Dug is very underrated because I'll bring it up. People were like, "Oh, what's that?"
So yeah, I don't believe Nullis will be playing tomorrow
He
because
starts college.
yep, so we'll miss the therapy bot.
It's probably for the best that we're missing the therapy bot.
Yeah.
However, will we, survive
Well, we probably will survive.
all of our traumatic experiences without having
Him to
Melee
help.
go to talk to?
Yep.
The Lego, the PTSD bot. He gives it to people. I really hope this factory isn't going to close before I can finish this line. Otherwise, whoops.
Depend. I'm sure the rest of, I know I'll be there, but I'm sure the rest of us will.
Yeah, full of your nice new artwork to utilize.
Be honest, it's a bit late now and I've already put the call out, but we probably could have played today since Tails isn't around. That's
You could have inquired with Nuka and just cucked the Tails slot as well. So there was at least content on his channel.
Nah, he wouldn't probably have been able to set up on his end with his phone, but maybe.
Fuck.
Oof.
The factory closed. Right. Now what? Fund new industry. How much is the factory? 670,000. And pretty much all the other ones have already gone.
You have 9 people watching.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool. Hello, 9 people. Yeah, I waited too long to build that factory.
got supply problems, apparently.
Yeah, it's because I wasn't taking anything to it yet. So it closed. Which is what happens.
Oh, no worries, Debs.
This loop is obnoxious. Yeah, pretty much everything is now shutting that wasn't already being supplied.
Yeah, you do need additional piles. I love how hills look in these old graphic games as well. They're like just little lumps on the map.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than some games I've played that are modern, to be honest. No, it's a very big nuisance that that's gone. However, I am going to invest in the rest of the station for this place. Local authority says no. Alright. Let's use the old trick. There we go. Now I have a freight terminal when I can. Afford a new factory, or hope that one is built by chance. However, I've just thought I've got 70 years to wait. You can't get factories until the next edition game, unless I actually let's do a bit of a test run. So there's a way of doing this that is, it's a bit of a cheat, but it works. I am going to turn off the screen share briefly just because I have to show the entire screen, and I've got to hunt through a bunch of different folders, and I don't know what it might come up with because I've not used these folders in many years. Is my honest answer. So I go to the save game file. I'll just describe what I'm doing. Date modified, Skog Timber Company.sav. So I need to rename that to .scun. And a .scun file is, unless I've changed it, scenario. Right, so now, back into the game. I don't know, OBS doesn't support this as a game, so now I go scenario editor. Load scenario. I've got a lot of these. Okay. Right, parent directory. Save file. This is not the first time I have done this. Load. Okay. So it's paused. Come over to
Cheating
here.
is bad.
Industry generation. Build. Now this should actually build it. So then I go save. Skog Timber Company. Actually, let's go no. .sav, and this should work. Okay, so we go abandon scenario editor. Now, in theory, you might actually be able to save this without having to go into the file manager and messing around with this lot. So now I can go to load game. Parent directory. It'll end up in. No? Alright. Parent directory. Did it save it? I do not know if it saved this. I don't think it did. Okay. I might need to go back into that one then. Load scenario. Okay, yeah, so save scenario. Ah, yeah. See, it saved it as a thing. So overwrite the file. Sorry about this. I wouldn't say it's exactly hacking, it's more just when you play the game in the earlier, less supported mode, the mods are not tuned to allow this. So you have to adjust things a little. So rename the file from SCN to SAV. Let's see if I can load it. So save file, Skog Timber Company, and lo and behold, there we go. Now hopefully that will work. Or it won't work and I've just wasted a lot of my time. So I need to take... I should have just copied an existing train. So
Skog hacking again. They're calling you out for cheating.
well, I mean, I'm only cheating myself, so it's fine. But yeah, the factories that are just built by the game, at least they used to not work properly. It couldn't support them. There we go, new oil refinery. Industry is under construction. And it'll keep saying that until 1920. Unless you build it through the scenario editor. So yeah, it is shenanigans, it is hacks, but it's how you have to get around some of the inconsistencies in the coding. Now if I was a big brain individual, I could adjust it so it'll actually allow that. But I'm not, so... So you can already see a problem here. Lots of the trains are being delayed.
Taki said, wait, Skog cheating on himself. How does that work?
So I need to make a new train. Can have this one with open wagons because I'm exciting like that. This one's going to carry lumber as well. From there to there.
Crispo. Saying dirty things like that.
That's a long. I'll go medium. Lumber medium.
Not a PG stream, but still.
Yeah, have some decorum. Or something. So, I have a fair bit of cash. I now need to sort out this junction because this is just too slow. So the easiest solution to this is to slew the tracks across. I don't need multiple exit lines yet.
Ah, there's a new bank being apparently.
Yep, there's a lot of that going on. So this line is going to come across here. I'm going to put that side back in. I'm going to have that coming up to there. Move that signal up a bit. So now I've got more sidings for trains. I do need to get rid of this depot though, as it's not conveniently placed.
Joe said decorum. What's that?
There we go. So now let's see how that looks and or functions. Right, so that's free flowing again. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this side, that's going to need to be adjusted, but
Odin. Hold on.
like it says, can't find a path to continue because it took so long for the message to arrive. It's going to be a while before I get any new trucks, so it's just the same basic train. Excuse me. This needs to be refitted for wood. Actually, already another train arriving, so. So this is the one with train 3, which is a medium trip. So this is also a medium trip. So I only start exporting the lumber from here across to my factory. What's the easiest way around these hills? I could go across there, go for that valley, or I can go this way and go around the coast. I think the coast should be quite nice. So after a while well, I can hopefully generally get enough income that I don't really have to worry about construction costs anymore. I can just sort of keep building indefinitely. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a nice day. So if you've got any suggestions, things you want me to do, explain, bring clarity to, what mod packs I'm using, all that jazz, just let me know. I will try and answer coherently. I may fail. Yeah, the rivers are not bad, they're just, I don't know. That's not actually a very useful place. No, I can't do that, Socky. Other than that everything is made up of tiny strings. Now I could go around, but rather than have to go and do too much deviation, I'm going to chonk through there. This has got so many gaps in it. So I'm going to try and head this way. How close is the game in awesome level as Dwarf Fortress? I don't know, I've not played Dwarf Fortress. And I do like how the improvements to this game over time have made it quite realistic, I guess, to a point at least. So you can do logical signaling and everything. That's actually quite a long way. Forgot how big I'd made this map. So they're waiting. Oh, there we go. That quick bit of not paying attention got me 100k. Okay then. Let's continue. Now in theory, at least with this game, wood, although not the most profitable material, is infinitely renewable. So it's ecologically sound or something. I kind of ran out of conversation.
Oof.
Other than I'm going to a show on the end of the month. I may see if I can get some video. I'm not sure.
Is this an epic train show?
Yes, it is the Geijo Guild's Telford exhibition. I plan on taking some of my finer wares with me.
Oh. And be like, look at the magic of 3D prints.
Pretty much, yeah. I was considering going, but I wasn't too sure. And then one of the people I do work for was like, "Oh, hey, can you drop some stuff off for me?" And I went, "Yeah, sure." So I got myself a hopefully nice T-shirt made with my Skog Works decaling upon the back. Remember how I had 100k just now? I built a lot of railway line. But it is nearly all connected. Well, technically it's not connected, but it's nearly all adjacent. So I'm going to come up here. So we need to get rid of those two signals and that one. So I need to finish this little gap, pull the signals on, and then it would work. It would just be clumsy. And I'll make it work better later. So this is currently my main resource hub. I do need to get some more trains to haul the lumber. Yeah, I've got a lot of iron down my railway lines. I should probably utilise it. I've actually got 20 grand I could also spend. Excuse me. I trust the Discord is behaving itself. I set it to a different server region earlier as the meaning of life is a Monty Python film, Crispo. So, lumber. Might stream some more Vermintide soon, not too sure yet. So, lumber, long trip. One of the things I can do is if it's a short trip, I can use smaller locomotives later on that have the higher power rating. Because, you know, if it's only going to go a short distance, it doesn't need a lot of speed. Which means I can use less expensive locomotives. Need 25k for this one. Oof. That'll do it. I've also just realised I haven't finished the signalling or the track. Whoops. Well, the trains can get there at least. Hello, Nullus. Well, my income is going to fluctuate a little bit while I'm waiting. I should possibly look at making this whole area more efficient. As it's not too difficult to do that. I just need to have a 4-track throat to the junction because it's got two primary input lines plus a secondary one, which I'm going to move back at some point. It's then got one outline.
Hi, Nollis. Sorry, I just got back.
No worry. Now, I'm not going to start doing passengers until I've gotten more of a concise idea of what I'm going to do, because I'll make the passenger network separate to the freight network. They might run adjacently, but they won't be actually connected, because otherwise you get the inevitable thing if you'll have two really slow freight trains just taking up both tracks, and then a whole heap of passenger trains stacked up behind. I also want to make sure my stations are properly built so that they're efficient, because that makes it more helpful. But yeah, this is a lot of trains backing up here. These do seem to just come in waves, it's a bit odd. So we go with the profit last year and see which ones aren't making that much money. Because obviously the long trip trains will make money less frequently, but they should make more money. And the short trip trains will make money more frequently, but less money. But that's just a theory. An economic theory. Now, if I've set all this up correctly, oof, so that's a pricey meatball. Making sure this is all actually connected. Yes, good. So this junction needs adjusting, and I think that's going to be a priority. I'm not going to expand the network until that has been done. Like, I could probably sort out this junction. I'm thinking of making this an underpass junction. So it's not... Oof, that's an expensive tunnel. It's not strictly necessary, but it's more efficient. So very simply, when this is done, there we go, I'm going to chop out that turn, and this should now flow as efficiently as it can. Now one thing I can do, if this becomes an issue later, is turn that into a looping station. So I have...
Howdy.
Hello, Nellis. I have excessive amounts of lumber. And lumber trains are quite a bit. How goes the day?
I'm moved into my dorm now. I'm just organizing stuff.
You're extremely quiet.
I'm in my dorm.
I'm just going to turn you on Discord. That sounds fun. I gather you're on a high up floor. Is there a lift, or do you just have a lot of stairs?
There are stairs and a lift, and I'm on the 6th floor.
That sounds like not fun.
It's not that bad. I've got a nice view of some other buildings.
Yeah.
Some other Soviet-style looking ass buildings. This isn't a PG-13 stream, is it?
No, this is my main channel. You can say whatever you like within reason.
Very cool. If I'm making too much noise, let me know and I'll mute.
That's okay. I'm basically making no noise, so it's probably a pleasant change.
Oof.
I know, right? So a I need a new train. Get the freight loco. It's actually slower than the previous edition, but it's more powerful. So it will be more useful for long journeys. And yes, it is really difficult to tell what that little number is.
You streaming open TTD then?
Yep. The fun never starts here. I've got a few people watching as well, which is surprising. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, it's just, huh. This is Long Trip Wood. Now, is the tunnel being an issue yet? Because I need to try and make this junction exist. By try, hopefully succeed, but you know. I'm going to continue moving this signal backwards. So the return line from the lumber, well, from the factory, will coincide. I'm going to use another underpass because I'm exciting like that. remove the last 3 bits. Should put the game music back on, shouldn't I? That'll help. That's enough cash again. Yeah, getting the stable cash flow at the beginning is always enjoyable, totes. But very satisfying when you have. There we go, right. There's now an actual junction there. As predicted, that depot is going to cause problems. I should maybe look at adding an extra tunnel to each side of this. Start with one at a time. It's oof, 30 grand again.
Ooh. Saki apparently, I don't know if likes the music or not. He says it's interesting in his own kind of way.
Yeah, I saw. I thought it best to leave it as it was. Now in theory I could fit a train up to there, so I'll put a signal there. So as long as the trains can actually get across this junction.
Alright, I gotta go.
Understand.
Okay.
See you guys later.
I know this.
Have a nice day. There you go. Now I've actually connected up that tunnel to the network. Pay off some debt.
No, you put it in a polite way, Saki.
Take out that curve. This isn't exactly working as it's meant to, but never mind. I think I'm going to smooth out these 2 tracks and add some additional block signals in. Yeah, so this comes over this side of the mountain. Now I could probably get away with this. As a way of getting trains to not have to go over that awkward loop. Then there's just the one feed into the station still, and I can disconnect this line. I'm just going to do that now. I'm just going to sever it there. Leave the track in place for now. I might use it later.
Hmm?
Just looking at the chat. So take that junction out. Does this mean that any trains going over there do somewhat by necessity have to go over there? I can in fact switch that to that way around. Take out that one. Now I could actually extend the drop-off side of the station, as this side is not having any issues with capacity. Ooh, new forest. Is it just that bigger distance that my trains are just... Yeah, they're just being slow. Alright. Cool. Yeah, I should start exporting this goods to somewhere. That would help. Because I'm not really doing very much. So we've got more forests over there. So, how is this station doing? It's just got a train leaving. Not really much need to connect these two parts together, but I could.
Sorry, I will be right back.
No worries.
No worries.
So I should probably still try and sort out the efficiency of this part. I think what I can do to aid it is to build up on the embankment. So any trains that are just using the avoiding line can. This train's been consistently losing me money. Not very much money. I think it's just it's such a big distance. Ooh, that new lighthouse looks quite nice. Trying to earn my debt, that'll help. So this game is all about transporting wood. At the moment, for me at least, yes. You can transport all manner of different cargoes. I'm playing on an extended like pack, which gives you access to a lot more different industries, like multi-stage industries as well, which is quite useful. For example, you can turn wood into goods or lumber and then export it. I choose to turn it into lumber because I can get more money for it carrying it to a factory. So that's a thing. I've got lumber building up again here. Yeah, the disadvantage of buying trains kind of sporadically is that after a while, obviously they're going to wear out at different times, which is going to make some inconsistencies in my network, but sometimes you need one extra train and you don't need like 5.
Mm-hmm.
So this junction works all right. Okay, all my lumber trains are arriving again now. Which does actually mean that it's going to prevent quite a lot from entering the station, as they'll get stuck on the yard. So I should nibble into this hillside a little more. Put down an extra platform. Now I could use some of the fancy packs to make nicer looking stations here. I'll actually have a look through those shortly, but some of them are date constrained. But currently, I mean, it's all, you know, bulk materials, it's all outdoorsy things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and do some fancier ones for like freight stations later on. Now I've got a lot of lumber sitting here. Imagine my shock. So yeah, these old locomotives are faster. However, they are limited to... What is the vehicle limit? So, open wagons can do 35, bolsters can do 35, brake vans can do 40. So in theory, once this is up to speed, it'll be going 40. Now, which actually means the long boilers I've got, although more powerful, are slower. A bit more expensive. But the tractive effort and everything. I think it factors that in. Okay, some versions of this includes tractive effort in the vehicle profile, but not anymore apparently. Well, it's the thing of you can have not a lot of horsepower, but a lot of tractive effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the difference between having a horse that is very fast and a horse that is really buff, I guess. That's not quite what it translates to, but it's...
No, I get what you mean.
As a suitable analogy to, you know, help visualize it for people who work like that. But, yeah, I'm just gonna say, I'm working on wood because wood is, in theory, infinitely renewable in this game. It's very rare that a forest will close down if it is being adequately supplied and dealt with. Now there's the ECS set, the Extended Cargo Set, which has things like, to increase production of forest, you need to reliably supply it with heavy equipment. And you can have, you know, flatbeds of, like, mini diggers and stuff. It's quite cute. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to do something to improve the efficiency of this route. There's not very much I can do, short than straightening it out a bit more. Which I could do. I could try and knock this route through a cutting. Then when I've got some more cash. So at the moment I've got 38 trains that are all revenue earning. Well, in theory, revenue earning.
That's good.
Just some of them more so than others. So my best trains are earning me about 17 grand a year. And my worst ones are losing me about 2.5. Most of those are long trip trains. So they might lose me a fair bit of money, they gain it back over time. So as a net, they are earning me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the company makes profit. But if it was just the long trip trains, we might have some issues. But yeah, things like sorting out the efficiency of junctions, like, for a second, and that just didn't stop. There's just trains constantly going past, which is good. I may at some point expand this station, make up to 4 tracks, and increase the intake and add some storage sidings, so you've got spaces for trains to sit while they are getting to the junction. Now, if I want to make this smoother, I could put a cutting through here. That's going to be expensive, but it should pay off. So now I need to come down here. This bit is trying to do it as cost effectively as I can. Yeah.
How's the trains?
Alright. I was going to say, Stu, do you have any input you could add to the Vermintide DLC, as you've had a chance to play it a bit more, I'm guessing?
Let's see. I'm guessing someone asked about it.
No, I just thought it's the last stream I did, so I thought it'd be
Oh,
relevant.
right. Let's see. I haven't really played the Weaves, so I can't really say much as to how those affect the gameplay. From what I heard secondhand from Han, they are quite challenging, and also when I did tinker around with the options you get for the Weaved after you've done that mission, the Dark Omen, you seem to have a separate progression for gear and items playing in Weaves, so I don't know, I have kind of mixed feelings on it, because I feel like, I guess if you want something new from the game, it's probably worth picking up, but otherwise, if you're kind of just happy with how the progression is, it may or may not be worth it, because like the only thing I guess you'd get out of it if you were happy with a regular progression in the main game is just the Beastmen being added in, but I don't know if the DLC is needed for that to function or not.
I don't actually know. I know I've obviously had Beastmen in a lot of the levels now. Some of them where it doesn't make sense, which is quite funny.
Yep.
But yeah, I have had the
Like when you're in the middle of an Empire City and there's just Beastmen running around. Yeah.
The Weaves are... they're not bad, to be honest. They're just... there's not much to them. Like, once you've played them once, because I know when Han's been playing with us and I've been playing with you guys who've not played it as much as Han, basically. Han will get maybe 20, maybe 30, like, Weave XP per mission now on the ones he's already played. Which basically means that replay value is non-existent. Other than, you know, actually playing the level, but as a progression thing, there is 0 point. Which is a bit, you know, meh.
Yeah, it does seem like for a £50 DLC, there's not a lot of hard content in it.
Yeah.
Other than this Weave mode, which is disappointing because the other DLCs were cheaper, but they at least added 2 to 3 map. One.
Yeah, you also have the thing of the new DLC is locked. Because it used to be if someone had the DLC, anyone could play it in the party.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not that. I'm going to put a tunnel in here.
And also, I don't even think you need to buy the DLC to get... Well, you do, but I think if the host has it...
So that's the thing, it's, I would say, unless you really want to play the Weave mode, just don't bother, basically. Which is not a helpful thing to have to say about a game, really, is it? Like, unless you want a specific 4-player mission mode, don't.
It's a shame, because, again, I keep harping on to about expansion.
Yeah, it's
because they were 20 quid.
Made, but it's not got much to it. It's very sort of like if it was you had to complete the weaves as part of a progression thing, and every few weaves you did, it unlocked a new like IRL into, you know, in the game universe mission. That would be pretty neat. But as far as I know, that's not it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another thing that I don't get about these Vermintide DLCs is the weapons. You can unlock new weapon types for each of the main characters, which is nice, but again, you could circumvent that, I think, by just playing with the host as the DLC. Again, there's not much reason.
I'm not too sure on that, actually, but...
Because well, the way it works is you need to complete the mission on whatever difficulty and then unlock the
yeah, because I know that I
weapon
unlocked
blueprint.
The ability to make the flail,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never found a flail. I've always had to make them.
Yep.
So, while we've been having that bit of conversation, I have been smoothing out this line. So we've got the original course of it, which is all wibbling around the landscape. But now, I'm going to start disconnecting the excess. I think over time trees will actually grow on the land. So eventually it will, you know, return to nature, as it were. I say sometimes I would, you know, keep the track in place in case I can use it later, but it's awkward deviations. They're not really going to be useful for much. Oof, that hill is not good for the weaker locomotives. Right. I'm going to do a pause for this one, just got to make sure this is trimmed out properly. So again, in the effort of trying to streamline things, I'm going to take out the wiggle. Put it in that way around. I'm going to do that while the game is paused, so nothing loses its route finding. Or if it does, it'll get it back again quickly. So, I've still got a freight station here, with nothing going from it. Now, medium distance freight is probably ideal. So, I don't want to go to there, because that's going to be a bit near. And anything over there is going to be too far away. This place, Trentford, is very far away, actually. No, hopefully at least this little deviation will improve the streamlining of things. I'm also going to just chew away at this side. Now it's got a bit more of a wiggle to it, but it does mean that 2 trains can enter the section at once. So trains aren't going to get delayed, hopefully. Hopefully. These new tunnels should smooth things out. Now in theory, if I could have spent a shitload more money and just made it completely flat and gone in a straight line, but I don't know, at that point you're just deleting more of the landscape than you're doing anything else. But it should make this route flatter and more efficient. If we go to the transparency settings, put the turn transparent buildings off, turn transparent trees. Transparency options. There you go. This is a lot more graphically busy with trees turned on, isn't it? It's quite pleasant, but yeah, it's a bit much. Right. Yeah, that's not even much. It's not that much different. I could. I could come along here. Keep this on the flat. That'd be an expensive tunnel. Is it shift? It's 13 grand for that tunnel. It's quite a lot.
It's an expensive tunnel.
Oh, the trains look cute going in the... Oh, the speedy boy.
So I've not really got any goods waiting anywhere apart from here. And this train can carry 138, so and there's another one coming. But I've got it set so that it's not all the same vehicle, so there's occasionally odd little different wagons in the trains. Also, when you zoom in close, the sprites look weird, but when you zoom out a bit, they look a bit more consistent.
Also, Skog, I think you're doing a bit too. The text.
No, the text is just grey. Oh, no, it's white text.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
kind of
I'll
stuck in the
shuffle it
white.
down a tiny bit. There we go.
Yeah, because Open TDD is a windowed game, so
Yeah.
it's stuck in the top bit.
In theory, I could set it to full screen, but it doesn't. OBS doesn't like it.
Yeah, some games don't like full screen on. Or OBS doesn't.
So yeah, this route is as straight and flat as it can be. Yeah, the lumber trains and the long trip wood trains are still. There's less of them losing me money now, though. There's only 5 losing me money per each year, and each of them has made, well, almost all of them have made that money back the next year. So that's good. Yeah, so this junction, where that train gets all slow, another one could come up on the left side and start the ascent. So I need to get rid of this goods. Now I could do that by train, or what trams do I have available? I want to carry goods. I have horse trams, or I have yeah, I've got horse trams or horse and carts. Or trains. I'm thinking trains. I could go over to here. That should be an option. Then I can put a bridge across there. Trying to actually plan ahead is probably beneficial to my continued running of trains. Yeah, this junction might be a bit slow because it's only got it's got a hill at each side, but not much I can do about that. Keep placing them slightly wrong. Not going to flatten out the land here, I'm just going to try and go with it. I'm going to drop down off the side. And then come to here. I'm going to have a... I guess a... Oh. I heard a noise. I'm going to blame Stu.
That's probably a good idea.
I do have to blame Stu. Well, thank you, Stu, but I'm still blaming you.
I just thought get the ball rolling because it had zeros.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm planning on going to a show where I'm hoping I can get something. As factory seconds and X-display models generally go for about 75 to sometimes even like 60% of the full price. As that's how I've gotten some of mine in the past.
Also, he'll be all professional with his Skog's work shirt.
Yeah, I will, when it arrives, if it's any good, probably put a picture on my Twitter or something to be like, oh no, professionalism.
What even is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you like my meme on the laps?
I didn't see it. I've got
Oh.
on my right hand screen. I saw that there was text. I will go to... I can't spell.
Incidentally, I think I may need to give up booze for a while, or like ciders and beers, because I feel nauseous like today, past few days on drink, and feel drowsy, so it's probably not.
Not generally, no. So this accepts goods. It also accepts coal and iron ore.
You only did how many did you didn't you only have like one drink last night?
I had 2 last night, and I had 1 just now, but I feel like drowsy and just like a bit sick, and I'm like, this isn't right, you know. Because I used to drink
Maybe you've been
quite
away
a
from
bit back in
Scotland
the
too
day.
long.
Yeah. It might just be the type of booze it is, like some that's just filtered better, probably, you know,
I know some
passes through
stuff
there.
is, I
It's a bit
believe,
rank.
as described by the connoisseurs of alcohol, is a bit rough.
Yeah, and to be fair, they probably put weird chemicals and shit in as well, so
You're putting
Probably.
weird chemicals in the beer.
probably. Well, to be fair, I don't really like the taste of most beers, but I've been drinking beers occasionally, and like I drink Italian beer usually, something like that, and those are reasonably nice and don't make me feel as sick. So maybe I should switch that. Or something.
I don't
They're a bit
like
more pricey, but they're probably better.
I don't drink beer at all. It's gross.
Yeah,
I'll stick
or
to
maybe
liquor.
So, we make
No, I was
lend
just-
me a favour.
we make you let me fight for chips.
Not complaining.
Yeah, the I may just like start just having whiskeys or wines or something, just as a little drink, because that won't hurt me too much. I don't imagine. So,
Fair enough. You know, you do you.
yeah. Yeah, Chris, but I only certain beers are to my taste, really, for cider, but recently cider's just been not agreeing with me. It might just be because it's cheapo stuff.
I'll proudly say that beer is gross. I've never had a beer that I've ever liked.
Mm. Yeah, I as I said, I only really like Italianish. It's like certain foreign beers are alright.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, they're not amazing, but they don't make me feel sick, usually, at least.
Just needed that piece.
He's on white lightning.
Oof.
Don't know what that is.
White Lightning is very, very cheap cider.
Mm.
I've never heard of White Line.
Have you heard of Scrumpy Jacks?
Yes, I've
It's-
had one of them before.
It's like Scrumpy Jacks, but lower quality.
Oof. Scrumpy Jack isn't particularly amazing either.
No, it's not.
It just reminds me of my doggo, though, so. Because of the name, so.
There we go. I've expanded the station here, so it's got more capacity for trains. With the main running line being this one. Actually, no, that's only connected to that side. Let's pop a junction in there. I'm going to knock out that reverser. There we go. How many trains here at the moment? Is there a train nearby? Yeah. A lot more trains now, not making me much money last year. Trying to be economically viable here. Yeah, it's the Telford O-Gauge Guild show is, I believe, the largest in Europe. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not seeing a lot of backlogs around here. there's a little bit there, but that's just 'cause it's one train that has to go across the top. Yeah, nothing's really stopping. So obviously there's only one depot there. Most of the trains are probably going to want to use the depot, but not all of them. I think they go to the depot once a year generally. For general servicing and maintenance, costs me a little bit, but meh. Makes them more reliable. Although I think I've got breakdowns turned off, as you get some woefully unreliable ones sometimes. Now, having only a single line to the station's not brilliant, but it should be fine most of the time. I could actually add a little rack of sidings.
Sorry, I've been looking at an article while you were talking there, and I might be intolerant to certain types of alcohol according to this.
It can happen.
Because I do get like more than one of the symptom according to this thing, so
Well, it's different.
might be something to consider.
Like the different things they use to actually make the alcohol element of it can have problems.
Yeah.
So I know I don't do well with yeast, like bread and stuff. So certain beers would definitely be a no, but as I don't drink them, it's not such an issue.
I'll need to do more experimenting.
Hernia meds that didn't actually really stop the problem, but just killed off loads of my stomach bacteria. I miss dairy. Dairy was good.
Does that mean you can't drink tea?
Nope. Can't drink
I was rather sad.
tea. Shouldn't really be drinking milkshakes.
That doesn't stop him.
No. Because I'm a mess. I'm going to move this shed to over here. I'm going to move the input line off there. This depot is empty. Remove the depot. And then connect these two lines to the midpoint. So I made this a lot more efficient, hopefully for future proofing. I can eat cheese. Cheese is slower to digest, so it's got more time. But yeah, milk just is instant acid reflux. Yeah, there we go. That's running a bit more smoothly. So now the trains that don't need to stop don't get in the way of the ones that do. In fact, I might introduce this over here. Wasn't the fact that it's already kind of cramped. Ow. I mean you could have tea without milk, but why?
I mean, that's how we drink it here.
Well, you know, we live in the civilized world.
I don't think I've ever had... I mean, I guess there's milk in, like, the chai teas that I drink, but never just, like, regular tea.
So again, I'm going to do a reshuffling of the depot. hopefully this won't just mean that all the trains will immediately go into the depot and be awkward. Also going to bring this home signal back again, because I can put that there. Take advantage of the straight through line. I'm going to remove this depot.
I don't know what kind of tea you've been drinking. And if we're talking about the tea that's in the harbor, then no. Texas tea is amazing. It just rots your teeth really fast. It's super
Well,
sweet.
that was a name for oil.
Hmm?
Texas tea.
I'm kinda.
So this should provide a bit of smoothing. I think realistically I can get rid of... No, I can't. I need all of these sidings. My trains sort of turn up at once, it's weird. Okay, I think it is time to expand my network more. I've already collected all the forests in this area. Collected that one, that one, that one, that one.
I mean, we do have fruity or fruit flavored teas, like there's strawberry tea, peach tea, watermelon tea. But most people just drink sweet tea. Also, hi, Boss Lot.
So yeah, I guess the regulator for the station is the output track is only a single track, which hopefully should prevent everything just rushing the exits. However, I could connect this up and make it double track. Just the train then decides if it's going to go... Well, so that's the only one going that way, so it doesn't really matter. Everything is, in theory, one track in, one track out. So, I need to find some more forests. Now, I could put a... Can I put a bridge across here? 15 grand. It's the shortest jump across there, but then it does mean I've got everything going through this junction. Which doesn't sound optimal. And if I want more lumber, I need more wood. Leaf soda. Oof. As much as I was saying it would make sense if it didn't, I think I will actually have to do the bridge across here. Again, a single track out should suffice for now. And any of the remaining sawmills that were left will have closed by now. So until 1920, I'm not going to have any new ones. So the wood is going to go up the main line. So I can, in theory, keep the lumber mill tracks separate. It's really inconvenient because both the tracks cross in the wrong direction. So any goods trains will throw a spanner in things. As the goods trains go from here across, the other trains go across, so it's an awkward wibbling across. Why is this one not finding a path to continue? Oh! Huh. Okay, that's not happened before. At least not for a long time. I need to pay more attention to stuff closing. Well, I have 4 trains available. It's a nuisance, because that spur was one of the more inconvenient ones. So, paying attention to things is useful. So I'm going to tell that one to come back to there when it's done, and stop. Stop. It's currently in a tunnel, all will be well. Yeah, I've got a depot full of trains to do something with, so if I need any, I have them. So come back to here, this is all behaving nicely. That's all been tracked in. Now in theory, I could put this line on the outside and completely avoid this junction. So it's probably a good idea actually. Although I think I will do that soon rather than now, as there is currently no capacity on the line, therefore it's not an issue yet. So the nearest forests are over here. That's low production though. And there, which is also low production. Hopefully those will pick up. So I need to go around this. Ah, closed. Say minimal curves is the way forwards. Now I'm hoping that I'm not going to hit too many capacity issues with this bridge, because there's really not much land around it that I could work into. Let's go all the way across there. And then it's still a long bridge. Again, if I'd slewed this across a little, I could have had it further across, but I can just put it around this block of land. Yeah, that's how I'm going to be playing this for an amount of time. Not too sure. Might make a smaller series of it, as I mean, it's been 19 years of gameplay so far, and this has rolling stock that goes up to I think 2050.
Future of champions.
Yep. Now, if I remember correctly, it includes at least one. You had some gas turbine and some like hydrogen fuel cell ones. Now, some of the industrial ones have useful bits and pieces where they will like have things like, if you've got these stations, when it's the logs will stack up on the platform to show you that you've got stuff waiting, which is quite pleasant. Whoops, that's not the right one. That's that one. That's that one. There we go. Now, not ideal, but I think we're going to have to do it. So... go to there. This is a long way. I don't want to have to... I'm going to try and adjust these later on. So, wood... very long trip. It's train number 19. It's currently I believe, a regular long trip. Is now a very long trip. So, go. Train 21. Go. Train 21. Train 23. Three. I'll deal with that later. Okay. So they will hopefully now go and collect wood from over here, but I'm going to make one new train just to make sure it's actually going to do something. Now I could use the 042 tanks for short trips. Oh, and we've got flat cars. Hey, 1869. We have bigger vehicles. Good times. Now carry 30 extra tons. Now hopefully that forest is an announced enclosure. Hopefully neither is this one. So at least one of the freight sets does have the facility to have loading platforms. Apparently it is not this version. And part of me goes, but Skog, why do you always use 2x5 trains? Like 2x5 platforms? Doesn't that, you know, wouldn't it be easier to have variable length trains depending on the production? Yeah, it probably would be, but this way it's easier for signalling. Although I sometimes will use longer trains where I can get away with it. Yeah, I do need to at some point to work on some actual flatbeds for my model trains. Now, just in case they get any ideas, I'm going to put a multi-way junction in there. Oh, that train is ready. So that's train 18 is now a very long trip. Very long trip wood. So that to go to this station instead. It's still the same destination. Make 2 for now. I have realised just now I've forgotten to signal most of this. Keep doing that. Could use colour light signals, but I prefer the old semaphore type, especially in 1869. So we've got a slow amount of trains going from all the way over there to over here. I do want to try and pick up all these different forests though. Means close that one. There should be one train left. I just need to send that one all the way to the depot. Pause. Unpause. There we go. So I've got 2 more forests here. Now, part of me goes, multiple long trip trains, or have those 2 feeding into this one, having multiple trains from here. I'm thinking multiple trains from there is going to work. Need some short trip transfer trains. Yeah, I've not really got much to say, I'm afraid. I'm just sort of, I guess, mostly autopiloting this. I've been playing this game for many years, and I'm forgetting that I should be talking to the chat, explaining what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, looks like you're transporting wood, so that's good.
Getting more wood. The Fangorn forest lies on our doorstep. Burn it.
I'll cheer people up with some good news. I got Age of Empires work.
Oh, cool.
Managed to find the way to make it go past my antivirus software.
Yeah.
Because apparently that was causing the game to shut down, which is hilarious. I don't know why a game needs that in 2019.
They've probably just not done anything other than ostensibly make
Put
it
on Steam.
compatible. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was on Windows 10 exclusively, so that's probably why it has weird hiccups, the integration. Probably has like always on crap or something that was interfering with the
I'm sure
virus
it's
software.
got DRM.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Bad
it's-
news. The bad news is my Empire at War, I managed to reinstall it and get the mods running again, because that's a pain. You have to like rename the .exes around to get that game working properly through Steam. The mod is like 20, 30 FPS if I'm lucky, so if anyone has any ideas on that, let me know what's causing the frame drops. Good. I used to play the Thrawn's Revenge mod at a good FPS, but done some recent updates now and it's gone back to being like 20, 10ish, so don't know what's up with that. I'm just looking online now to see if there's suggestions. Yeah, there's a lot of people have the problem, but no suggestion. Yeah. Well, and Ash has returned.
Yeah.
I was here the whole time. Just not saying anything put me in AFK.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I'm feeling really low energy today. I don't know why.
I
Maybe it's that
normally am.
alcohol.
This is why I don't generally stream as much sometimes recently.
Yep. I drank some cocoa to try and cheer me up a bit, but I've finished it now.
Oh, there's a new quarry. These are uncommon in the game.
The human eye can only see 35 frames per second. You'll be fine. Sock puppet eyes see a lot less frames.
Oh god, I hate that meme so much. The whole. But guys, human eye can only see 24 frames like in movies. Like, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what game it was. It was some horror game or whatever, and it was only 30 FPS it ran at. I think it was some Gearbox made, or was it some other dev? I can't remember. It might have been one of the PlayStation devs, I think, actually. Oh, it was the Order. What was it
1886.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That controversy of a game. I think that was only at 30 FPS, and everyone was like, why? And the devs were like, guys, the human eye can only see 24 frames per second. It's like, no.
Total Biscuit
You-
noises and distance.
Yeah, I think that was what I remember. I think he made a
Somewhat
video
muffled at this
precisely
point.
on that bit, whether they said. Yeah, Total Biscuit really went off the deep end towards the end of his career, but it is kind of sad that he passed away. So, as dumb as he could be at times, but
Yeah.
well, not so much dumb, but he was just very kind of opinionated a lot of the time and let people know he was, which could get a bit grating. But
Yeah.
he was right sometimes about certain things, so, like the FOV sliders that should be in games and stuff. Even though that eventually just became a massive meme.
Now, I kind of feel like I should maybe make boats to do this trip. I could actually just make a transfer dock and just ship wood. What boats do I have available to me? 154-ton freighter. It's going to be slower and carry less. I mean, it'll get there, but you know, it's not going to make much money. I need more lumber trains. That's a good point. Lumber, medium trip. Replace vehicles. Let's start upgrading this stuff to flat cars. In fact, let's upgrade the box wagon, the open wagons to those, and those to those. That's a problem. That's fouling the points. That should not have been a thing. There we go. So yeah, the bigger lumber trains are now starting to turn up. It's getting there. It's something.
Yay.
So next time the lumber trains go to their depot, they will start. Oh, I made a subgroup. Cool. Didn't know I could do that. Neat. I've not played Ticket to Ride. That's a lot of things closing. It's a shame I don't know if the AIs in this game are any good anymore. Shall we test them, chat?
Oof.
AI game script settings. Pause. Save. Check online content. Convoy. Convoy might be good, if a problem. So we can try Convoy. It's a NAS set though. Dictator. No. Yeah, let's go with that one. I kind of don't want other railways, is the thing. Yeah, let's download this one. Okay, that's done. So let's go. Select AI. I want to have the convoy, because, you know, buses. And then this one, I want to have this one as the mail AI. We'll see how that goes. Can I configure them anyway? Use trucks, use trains. Configure. Okay, I think. Fingers crossed, this will work. Get something else happening mostly, because the AIs used to be quite good, but with the amount of mod packs that are out there now, it's questionable. Make sure I've not got a whole heap of trains about to descend. No. Each train can carry about 150 ton. See how that goes. These trains are starting to upgrade to larger, faster vehicles. Still noticing any tailbacks, log jams, etc. That's not ideal, that's a hill. Can't do much about hills. I think stuff several's trying to go into the depot, but that's, again, difficult to avoid. Oh, that's a lot of stuff piling up in the depot. I think the depot only feeding into one platform might be an issue, but it should resolve itself. Well, it's still working, so all is wellish. Ooh, Ooh, that's actually a lot of. That's a lot of trains backing up. Yeah, a lot more trains can enter than can leave, which is becoming an issue. In theory, they all come in by 2 lines.
Looks like the game that Chris was talking about is like a trains board game.
Yeah, I've seen it, I've just not played.
And they've got like US, Asia, India, and Europe.
Yeah. It's a bit like Risk then.
I'm not sure.
Risk for trains. Right, that should hopefully smooth things out a little. Or at least it'll move the backlog away from the station. It seems to be flowing a little smoother. So, start upgrading my short trip trains to flat wagons with better brake vans.
Apparently Coat Rack owns this game.
Yeah. How do I rename this station? Cannot rename it? Or rename, there you go. Transfer. There we go.
Are we all still here?
I am.
By the way, Crispo asks, Skog, seeing how you like trains so much, have you played Ticket to Ride?
Yeah, I was just looking that up.
Oh.
I have not played it. I've seen the board game, but I've not, never played.
Ah,
So
board game.
the board game part of the miscellaneous nerd stuff society I was in at uni did have it.
Okay, the
but
board appears to be American.
They have Asia, Europe, and a few other ones it looked like on Steam.
Ah, Ticket to Ride Europe. Goes through Turkey.
yeah, now I've gone too many trains. Knew this would happen eventually. Oh, that forest went. Well.
Oh, by the way, I found a link for us to watch Le Star Wars.
Ah,
So, New Hope. So, that might be something we could do at some point.
sounds good.
Start an epic Star Wars watch together.
Understandable. think Winfield Woods. Does it actually have this train go where this one goes? Yeah, I have too many trains for that one, but yeah, it's kind of an inconvenience when I don't check for a little while. Yeah. Having the transfer station actually at a supply point is quite useful sometimes. Then I've got too many trains at this one. More refinery, new sawmill, that one closed, that one's opening, that one's opening. How's Convoy doing? They own 70 road vehicles and have a very distressing looking lady as their owner.
I shouldn't have clicked that. I should have known it was the cursed version. Sorry. I saw something Sailor Moon, and it was the new edition of Sailor Moon, not the 90s version.
Oof.
With the good voice acting.
Does the male AI actually own anything? It owns 2 trains. So where are they? The AI is badly coded. That's a shame. How has it managed that? Oh, it's... Right, where are these? Oh, they're near me. Okay. It's such a shame because they don't work. Like, they're not connected. This is just tragic. I actually think you could park the horses in that kind of bus stop. Ah, it doesn't have proper orders. These AIs... They used to be better. They used to be just like the base game AIs. Ooh, that's a problem. Let's try and resolve this problem. Remember when I was like, that's a problem I'm going to deal with later. Now it is later. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other anticipated games that have either come out recently or are coming out soon. The only ones that really come to mind is Borderlands 3, which has a lot of, I guess, developer side controversies that have abounded. As the devs have been kind of bad at their optics.
What is it? Mispronounce their robot.
Oh yeah, I forgot that that was a new one I'd forgotten about.
Also sending, what was it,
they them
bloody
pronouns.
mercs to someone's house
They
to
sent
harass.
some thugs round to hassle someone.
It's like, good job, guys.
Yeah, it's...
There's also Randy Pitchford at their conference being cringy. That was always good. Yeah. Like, so I think they had the female voice actress for... What's that character's name? The blue girl, the angel one. Talks to you.
Angel?
Yeah. I think that's literally her name.
Angel dies in 2, doesn't she?
Yeah, and they brought her out at the presentation for Borderlands 3 to, I don't know,
Also, if anyone goes
for Randy Pitch for it to be really
spoilers, the
awkward.
game's like 10 years old, isn't it?
Yeah.
When was Borderlands 2 released?
Let me find the video.
Halo for PC is going to be awesome, says Chris.
Oh yes, I'm definitely up playing that. I'm gonna probably stream that, honestly, like the Halo games in narrative order. That'll be fun. And if people have it, I might do a co-op of it as well. I think Dom would probably play that, which would be fun. Quite likes Halo.
Yeah, sounds fun. This is the current point of... Damn, there's a lot of hills here. Forest on top of a hill. Understandable. Have a nice day. Words. Phrasing. Excitement.
I think I've only played one of the Halo games. I think I played Halo... No, I played 2 of them. I know I played Halo Wars. So I played that with, like, my friends when I was younger. I don't know what I played. I only played, like, 2 of them.
Oh yes, Reach. Reach is the one people either really love or really don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of Reach, honestly. Just it's just some of the new gameplay additions they did for it and campaign as well. I can kind of see what they're trying to do with the campaign of Reach, but in my opinion, they didn't quite pull it off, unfortunately. So. It was mainly just the characters were really, really flat and bland. So
That's not what you want
Yeah.
from characters.
I will say, not played 2 Halo games. I've seen every season of, like, Red vs. Blue, though. When I was younger. Loved that show. It was so funny.
Oh yeah, Reach. There was some fun stuff with the modes in the multiplayer Reach. The main thing I didn't like about the multiplayer was just the abilities they added in, the weird stuff, sprint and the over shield, the armor lock, whatever it was called. But the Forge was really good. Some fun modes you can make with it, and the sound design was really nice, and the music and so forth. Yeah, there was some really positive stuff, but overall it was just. Yeah, mainly the campaign I just didn't like at all. Never finished Red vs. Blue, actually. I think I watched it when I was a kid, and I think I stopped around. I don't know what season it was. When they like did the Halo 2, and then kind of stopped for a bit.
I don't...
So,
yeah, I don't remember where I stopped.
Like, 'cause there's a lot of it, that's the weird thing, 'cause they stopped and then they did it again for a long time. Never picked up on again when they started up, so kind of mid-season, I guess, is when I stopped, like mid-run. I never got into it because I forgot what was happening. So.
That's not productive for a series if you forget what's happening.
Yeah.
So, Train 66.
Red vs. Blue also is kind of hard to follow because it's a very, very meta kind of show. Like,
Apparently, Crispo said it 11 or so. And he hopes they bring back sand traps in the new Halo.
Oh yeah, that was a fun map.
These traps.
I think I made a... If it's the sand map I'm thinking of, is the one with the elephant. in Halo 3? Or is that a different one? Because there's two sand maps in Halo 3. There's the one with the elephants around a ruin, and then there's the Forge map they did for Halo 3. Sandbox, I think it was called. Which is a very appropriate name. Yeah, no, I made a custom mode on that one where I called it Hulk or something like that, and it was basically an infection variant where everyone else was human, and one person was the infected, and they were like super tough, super fast, had a grav hammer, a sword, and all the human players at the spawn, the way I created it, had a bunch of power weapons and a few warthogs, enough vehicles for a full team-ish. And you had to just kind of keep circling around the map, like just driving in a loop around the map while avoiding the zombie that would be catching up behind you, like the super souped up zombie Hulk monster thing. And, you know, if it killed players, they turned into like weak but very fast enemies with swords, so I thought it was pretty fun. Everyone else that I played with seemed to like it as well. So, like, whenever we were playing Halo together back in the day, it'd be like, Stu, we want to play Hulk, get it set up. I was like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing tonight. So that was one productive creative thing I made. I might make it again if Halo on PC turns out well. I'll recreate it. Because in theory, it should have all the same settings for making custom games, so I'll be able to make some close to it. We can all play that if we all have Halos.
I've never really played them.
They are very fun games, and they're pretty easy to pick up, I'd say.
Fair enough.
Unless you want to be like MLG at them, but I mean, it's Halo. Does anyone really want to be MLG at Halo?
Now I've got the, I believe it's the Dean goods, but it could be any other variant. There's quite a few. Yep, slowly smoothing out all the problems I've been making for myself. Oh, some trains are starting to get old. Alright, start managing this a bit more tidily. So, short trip ones can have metro tanks, probably not really worth it. Where about that one? The little metro tank. That's 600 horsepower. I think for now replace the copper knobs with the Dean. So medium trip wood. These can definitely be replaced with Deans. Okay. That's all medium and short trips. I should possibly make it a bit more visible for stream, but I don't know. You can tell me, chat.
Now that I wouldn't see it, shows back.
Be still.
Oh yeah, Ash, I hope the doggos are they feel better. Yeah, I'll let you know, Crispo, if we need some people for some custom. I'll just I'll probably play through the game. I'm not sure when it's coming out, to be honest. I'm hoping maybe December this year, but they haven't said anything yet, so I'm too sure. I'll let people know if some games are on. Might be a Windows exclusive, which would be a bit of a pain. Oh no, Skog, you have Windows 10.
Yep.
Not sure if Ash does.
I think so.
2019, yeah.
The very specific release date.
Yeah, that's why I'm predicting like December at the latest, but they could say, guys, we're delaying it to 2020 March, like they did with Phoenix Point. And with Bannerlord, apparently that's coming out 2020 March, at least early access version of it. That'll be fun. I do hope there's Napoleonic mod as well for Bannerlord, so we can have Sharp's rifles again. Because me and a buddy of mine did that in Mountblade Warband, Napoleonic module for it. The cool thing as well is the riflemen were more accurate and had faster reload speed than the other units as well.
Which doesn't make sense. They'd have a faster reload. If it's
Well,
Napoleon.
actually, I could be remembering that wrong. It might just accuracy, so. Which does make sense because they had rifled barrels. I always found it funny in that show how in some of the episodes, some of the officers were like, "Oh, riflemen, ugh, I trust muskets over rifles any day," and it's like, what?
Rifles are slow. You can get maybe 2, maybe 3 shots a minute that will be accurate, or you can get about the same speed as regular musket fire without the accuracy. It's all the it's the little leather patch that you wrap the ball in.
Yeah.
As you're loading it, and that's a lot more effort to load, especially because the barrel is spiraled, so it'll catch and everything.
See.
So they don't run on. Well, they run on cartridges, but not quite the same, if I recall, from all of the history I've read on it.
Yeah.
So let's check for any more tailbacks that are...
Right. I imagine rifled guns are probably more expensive, maybe. Well,
yes. Cutting
so
the rifle grooves is a not especially quick process.
Yep.
Actually,
they had them in the American Civil War, I think, as well. Had actually, weren't most weapons in the American Civil War rifled by that point?
Pretty much everything was rifled by that point.
Yep, they just... Because I remember they had skirmishing units, but they either had repeaters or... I think they had scoped rifles by that point as well. So yeah, skirmishers must have been pretty nasty in the... But like, repeaters were even more expensive, so they weren't common. Because I think a lot of people used to ask why didn't they just have repeaters as standard issue, but it was, I think, the cost and also I think the range on repeater is a lot less than regular rifles, so...
I'm not too familiar, so...
Yeah.
Alright, so I need to get the throughput into this station increased. Because I've got stuff backing up over here. I'm thinking easy solution temporarily. Put that crossing in fully. Everything can go up both tracks and hopefully not stop too often. It has to go uphill, and going uphill is always going to be flowing.
Sorry, Stu. I just noticed there's something wrong with my dog, and I had to fix it.
Oh, that is fortunate, 'cause I was going to ask you, I hope the dogs were making you feel better, but apparently
Oh no,
you
I'm
need
not.
to care for that.
No, he had. I didn't notice because my dogs don't like their feet being touched. He had his lodged in between his paw pad and his nail.
Oof.
I had to like pry it out with scissors.
Yeah, sometimes doggos don't tell you these things, they just don't want to worry.
Yeah, but no, I'm not feeling too bad today. Like I said, I just walked into work and my boss is like, "You don't look like you feel good. Go back home."
Go home,
I was like, I feel
home
fine,
GI.
but can't complain about an extra day of rest. So.
Well, I need to.
I was thinking, like, if all you're doing is resting for today, you could do a watch together. Maybe. Might be fun.
Yeah.
Watch some Star Wars, maybe some else. You watched all the John Wick films, didn't you?
Nope.
Still waiting to
I've
watch
been
the
waiting
third
to
one.
watch them.
Oh yeah, 'cause the third one's not available yet in a good
Well,
form.
it probably is, but it's also available to rent. And
Is
I
it?
would prefer to rent it than use the eye
Use
patch
the,
and large hat technique.
Who are a pirate?
I'll say it's if it's I have what 2 different streaming services, and if it's on a third one, it's just like I'm not
I'm
paying
not
for this many
forking out
things.
more. I mean, I've had to watch Sharp on like Daily Motion of all places. Like that's how bootleg it is to find. Because the only way you can watch Sharp legally, I've found, is on Amazon, and you have to have a specific. Because I already pay for Prime, which is a fair amount of money, and I've got Audible as well for my Star Wars books. And yeah, you need BritBot, which is another subscription service to watch Sharp, and I'm like, yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
I ain't paying more money just to watch Sharp. Like, oh, because there's nothing else I would watch on BritBox.
Yeah.
ITV being greedy.
I think.
Funny thing I discovered, apparently the Sharp books are still, like, the author is still willing to write more of them. He just stopped to work on other things for a while.
Yeah, he's been working on his Civil War books, I think.
Which is interesting, because he wrote those books back in the 80s or something.
Well, he's kind of just kept writing them, just at intervals.
Yeah.
I think it's, as either information is available to use for sources, or, motivation hits. And I'd imagine ITV were quite a large incentive for him at one point.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like
I don't
to
think
pay you
ITV...
a lot of money to make this series.
Oh yeah, see you, Crispo.
They couldn't really make any more
Hi,
episodes.
Crispo.
See you, Crispo. I'll say Mr. Bean is getting rather old.
Yeah, I think he would still be willing to do it, but they should probably do it soon.
Yeah, it's the thing. He might be willing to do it, but it's
ITV, I don't think will do it. They'll need someone else, maybe.
You'd have to find a time when, Sharp being again brought out of retirement to do things, and I don't know if that would, fly.
Would resonate with people.
Because I'm getting too old for this shit.
Mm.
Doesn't exactly seem like something Richard Sharp would say.
Also, I think the last book. I don't know where I should spoil it for people. I haven't read the book, but I've seen a bit of the summary
I've
of
read
it.
all of them, so.
Yeah, I think he comes out of retirement to go to South America to do something with Harper, and then they go back and they find out Napoleon died or something. Like they go to the Elba.
Ah, yeah, he's.
And then they're like,
think
yeah,
I've
Napoleon.
read that one.
And then
Do you know
they're
it's
like,
the
oh,
French
well.
I think it's the French or the Spanish are fucking around in South America. And he's been basically
Yeah.
contracted as a mercenary to go and deal with them.
Yep, because they're the only people that can do it, apparently. Just 2 old guys from the Napoleonic War. It's called Sharp. I'll find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be Sharp something.
Yeah, because they're all named after shops.
I think Eagle is
Always
the first one
like-
I'd read.
Yep.
I read them in order of print rather than chronological.
Sharp's Devil was the latest one
That's the
too.
one.
And yeah, and they basically at the end they find out that Napoleon had died. Like when they get back to Elba, and him and Harper are just like, well, time to head back home, and they like ride off to the sunset and the bookend. I'm like, yeah, this seems a good place to end the show, the series.
Yeah. Quickly.
I think when was the book? 1988. So actually, the books aren't that old.
I mean, 1988's 30 years ago still.
Maybe, yeah. 1981. That was an early book. Sharp's Gold. I'm guessing that was the first one.
Eagle was the first one.
Eagle.
The Talavera, I believe.
1981. Yeah, that's a very early book. Yeah. It's not early in the narrative, but I think it was the first one written.
Yeah, I think technically
Because all these are
Sharp's
kind of written all over the
Tiger
place.
is the first narratively.
Yeah, and that was, I'm guessing, when he was in India or something.
Yeah, the Indian Wars. He he beats the Sultan to death in a tunnel and steals.
Did he, Mao? Just that's amazing.
Later on, I think it was in one of the later books, I forget which one, somebody tries to decapitate him, but because he has this massive ruby that he nicked from the Sultan, basically in his like hair, it doesn't kill him. It just really, really hurts.
Provides armor, natural armor. Oh yeah, Sharp's Trafalgar. So yeah, he ended up in the Battle of Trafalgar in one of the books for some reason.
Oh, is Trafalgar before or after the Indian ones?
I think it's just after the Siege of Copenhagen.
Oh yeah, Siege of Copenhagen one where we the British burned the Danish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Danish fleet in their harbour because they refused to give it up to our custody, and the French are on their way to capture it. Because the easiest
Britain has
way,
a habit of doing that, just burning
say,
fleets.
the easiest way to continue to have a strong naval power is to
sure no one else
make
has
sure
one.
no one else does.
Because they did that in World War II as well, which is hilarious. So just sunk a load of French ships before the Germans could get them.
Yep.
Thankfully, I don't think anyone was actually on the ships at the time, but you know, it's still.
I think they were all sunk at anchor as well, so it wasn't exactly.
It was controversial, I think, at the time.
I think it's one of those things of, give up your ships, or they're going to get seized by the Axis. No, we'll be fine. Oh, would you look at that? Fire the torpedoes. Because I know, wasn't it the World War I German fleet surrendered off Scapa Flow?
Mm.
And then they scuttled them.
I think that was after Jutland. Jutland was a bit of a mixed bag, though. I think it was a steal.
No, it's, all the steel that is still slowly being collected from there is used in satellites and stuff.
Yay.
As it is a source of unradiated steel.
Yeet.
As after Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and most of the testing in the American Midwest, kind of a lot of, steel is slightly radioactive, which is not useful for sensitive equipment. Is there a lumber train inbound. No. So that's all still fine. That's all still fine. That's fine. That's fine. That doesn't go anywhere anymore. That's fine, if a bit congested. It's an odd route to take. Right. I see a noticeable lack of trains in this area. Yeah, the fact that those freight trains hop over the top isn't too convenient. I could set it up so that they go underneath. Wouldn't actually be too difficult either.
Our viewership has dwindled somewhat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am the peak of excitement right now, aren't I?
How to transport that wood.
Yep.
Thriving wood industry.
Indeed. Right then, most of my goods trains should now go around the avoiding line, which means they won't actually get in the way of the primary route. It'll just be stuff trying to go up the hill, not stuff going across. It's something. How's all this slot doing? That station is still providing me with wood. That one is. That one was. The production's going up there, which is nice. Oh, I've got a lot of wood here. There's a lot of trains getting stuck here. Is there? I'm a bit dumb, aren't I? Trains going this way do not have a way back across there. So... no, let's not do that. That's silly. On an embankment, straight up. There we go. They'll now go out the correct way. Ish, hopefully. There we go. Me being dumb again. That line across there. Now the trains can leave without having to come through this depot. Which is where currently a lot of them are. Because they have to go in and then leave again. Which obviously is crossing the line of traffic. But yeah, I've got a fairly robust company. Considering it's just using wood, lumber and goods. I could, you know, rebuild a lot of these junctions, make them tidier, but could knock out most of this section over here as well, to be honest, but just tidy it out again. Yeah, I'm forgetting that I'm meant to have an output for trains in that direction is neither big nor clever. Well, we got a lot of lumber waiting here. Wonder why. I run about 10 trains that use this platform. The problem is I don't want to have too many because they already overpopulate the storage sidings.
Hmm.
So if I got many more, I could have issues. Because the supply of wood dwindled briefly. Or if the trains just happen to go the way they might, I could have 12 trains backed up before I could get a wood train in. Hopefully that wouldn't happen. But it's all working nice and smoothly. This little depot down here is working. This one doesn't do as much. I should probably get another lumber train. Objective is for the longer trips to have the faster locomotive option. Ah, bloody hell. 400 crates. That's nearly 3 train loads. And as the wood continues to pour in, the lumber trains also need to continue to pour in. But I've made it more efficient, which is pleasant. Problem is, it might now be too efficient. I think the long boilers also actually last significantly longer than some of the others. Oh dear, that's... This long trip lumber business is getting quite heavy on trains. I'm just going to buy 4 more and hope for the best. Well, I bought 4 more and, well, they're already being utilised. That's the thing, if you're not picking up the goods from a station, it won't supply as much. There's plenty of timber trains on their way up here. Obviously, it's... I'd say better to have trains that go from one big depot than having multiple long-distance trains. Oh, there's a forest here. Let's miss that one. So that's the thing, if you're building near a town, you're gonna need to adjust the land. Build your station first, then they can't tell you no. And hopefully they'll get happier afterwards once you've started supplying them with, you know, goods and services. Build 1 up, 1 down. And across there. Now actually, although it's a slightly earlier variant, the little locomotive you just seen go past there is the one I'm intending to purchase soon. When it is released. Well, hopefully by then I'll be able to get my train set back up again. It's an inconvenience. Otherwise, now, do I have a new small locomotive? No. Excellent. Okay, the production of that forest keeps increasing. I might actually have to make new trains. Infield woods, transfer and empty. Again, the more you pick up, the more it can give you sometimes, which is not a bad thing, but I might need to substantially rebuild this entire area. This is why I could really do it being 1920, so I can build a new lumber mill and do away with a lot of these very long trip trains. Start rationalising them down a bit further. Because the trains won't be wasted, they will be reused for the lumber trains. Any resulting goods trains. Yeah, the network's kind of full, you know, a little bit. Oh, they've still messed those up. The AI doesn't know how to use the right vehicles. So it's currently a 1 in, 1 out with the lumber trains. Which is not exactly a problem, but it's I might need to make this bit double track. Just for the increased capacity. So I guess increasing capacity it is. In theory, it doesn't really matter which track they go on for that. It's just as long as there is a track. Watch as I make my bank account disappear. Diagonal cuttings are the worst for making a lot of expense very quickly. Ooh, new forest. Is it anywhere near me? Ooh, okay then. That's very near. Right. I don't actually know if I'm going to need to put a junction in there. It's going to be such a short distance. I think it's going to need a depot. Right then, metro tank. And lumber cars. It's 4 long. Wood. So the short trains, I can expand them over time as required. So ungroup trains, wood short trip. My lumber train is still getting old. Okay. These trains are longer than the section. That could be an issue. Oh, 720 tons of wood. It's a lot of wood. Right, I think rather than making new trains, I'm going to finish this track extension and hope that that will take most of the problem away. Local communities hate him. Watch how this guy used one simple trick to completely destroy a hillside.
Yeah.
Hello, Kobrak.
Hello there.
Okay, not one of mine.
How goes the training?
Alright. So, that's... Now the joy again of continue expanding sideways.
Ooh, sideways train track.
Okay, so in theory doubled the throughput for the inlines. Now I need to increase the output lines. Like 2 nice new little steam locomotives available. Good times. Right, I'm going to end this stream shortly, as I've been going for much longer than I anticipated.
Yeet.
I guess next time I'm going to have to do something about this junction because it's a mess. It might be I'll have to just stop all trains and literally rebuild it from ground up.
Oof.
So I've got basically 2 main tracks coming in. They then need to all get, well, 3 tracks coming in, they all need to get processed adequately, be all on the same level, and get into the station. Now I could be creative, and in fact actually I might do this just to save myself some time now. I guess you'll see next time, so, or maybe I'll get it done quick enough now. So, coming in on the left, so that is south. That'll be the advantage of some of the new options in the game, as it were. It's going to be a complete set of avoiding lines. Stop signal, stop signal, stop signal. There we go. So this will become a new wood terminal for stuff coming in from that side. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. Have a nice day, everybody. I might see you tomorrow.